Hey everyone, I have a 6-month-old. Don't ask me why I break out in song randomly, it's just a talent of mine. So I'm at the beach, and as you will see while you watch this video, we finally have answers on baby Love's poop. My freaking goodness, has this been a challenge. And you will see the ups and the downs of having a 6-month-old, but through it all, like always, I am completely grateful. So if you love watching my videos, thank you. I love hearing from you guys. If you have not subscribed and you want to kind of keep in touch with me, please subscribe. Share this video if you know anybody who's going through this, because I'm hoping that I can spare some people the challenges that I went through to reach our conclusion, which you will soon hear about. And the other thing I wanted to say is that I know that I promised you guys twice now the sleep training video, but I'm not going to do the sleep training video until I have personally sleep trained my little munchkin. And I'm not going to sleep train my little munchkin until he is 100% in the clear healthy, which is what I recommend to anyone. Before sleep training your child, make sure they have no issues medically or otherwise. All right, stay tuned. Before we get to that, I had the pleasure of being a guest speaker at the New Life IVF location, which is located in Arcadia, and it was such an honor to be there. We're here, Momo.
Hi.
And are you excited to see everybody?
Inform all these people of all the good work that these people do.
That's right.
And they get a big bundle like this.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
One of the things that I loved about the New Life IVF Center is it's so crisp and clean and sterile, but also still inviting and beautiful. So every room I went in just sort of gave me this sense of calm. I love that they have the newest technology. I love that the Dr. Yulian, who helped us make our miracle baby, is the most compassionate doctor that I have ever met. I love that everything is brand new, and my speech will be on one of the next videos. Okay, so what you're about to see is the journey to discovering the answer. And we're not totally in the clear yet, so we're hoping that that is in fact the answer. We are at the pediatrician's office, and we have had a tough couple days, I gotta say. And for those of you who are squeamish, you're not gonna wanna see what I'm about to show you, because the other day, baby Smith pooped, and there was no poop. It was just blood that came out of him, and that was obviously concerning. So I am going to go in, talk to her. I'll let you guys know kind of how everything played out when I have more information for you. Oh, here it is, guys. How scary is that? Man, so once I saw that, I started changing my diet around, and here are some examples of how I was eating. I was just really trying to eat super clean and avoid all of the top allergens, you know, milk, soy, nuts, things like that. I'm gonna pump at the same time as talk to you. Hi, baby boy. I see you smiling at me. I see you. Because I have to multitask. So the doctor said that because I recently went on antibiotics for mastitis, because I got mastitis for like the 15,000th time, practically. She said the antibiotics could have upset his stomach, and she also said that once I hit the mastitis, I went into my freezer and I started using pumped frozen milk. And her thoughts were that, and these were kind of me telling her what my thoughts were, and she was just like, yeah, I agree with you, that the breast milk that I gave him from the freezer was when I was eating dairy. So it probably triggered, you know, I was eating dairy and wheat and everything that I wanted to eat at that point when I was freezing that milk. So there's a good chance that it aggravated his stomach because he is allergic to something, very obviously, that I'm eating. So antibiotics was one. Second one was that I used pumped milk because my supply went down. And then the third element is I went to mommy group, and in mommy group they were passing out lactation cookies, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to increase my breast milk supply on my right side. I'll have one. I took a bite, swallowed it, and then went, hold on, what's in these cookies? That was not the right order to do that in, by the way. And sure enough, it was like the third ingredient was milk. I'm like, dang it, really? So that could have also affected his reaction. But as you could see in my my little baby's poopy diaper, there was no poop. It was just blood. So it was very scary. And when it first happened, everybody was like, oh my gosh, go to the emergency room right away, right now. And something in my gut said, just hold on. Let's see, does he have another poop like this? Because he was giggling and smiling, and it wasn't like he was having any issues or he was having a problem. It wasn't like he was grumpy or fussy or anything. He was giggling and happy as can be. And so I was, on the other hand, crying because I was like, what is wrong? This is not good. And my husband was awesome, and he was like, sweetie, you're only upset because you love him very much. So let's just keep an eye and see what the next diaper looks like, since that's what your gut's telling you. So I looked at the next diaper, and it was green with very tiny bits of poop, blood. All poop, just very tiny bits of blood in it. And the next one was more poop and even less blood. And since then, the diapers have gone back to greenish brownish color. I want to get them back to yellow, of course, but I'm just grateful that the blood is getting less and less. And I did make an appointment with a GI and an allergy specialist, so we're gonna do that. And then I changed my diet to vegan right now, non-dairy, non-gluten, non-soy vegan. So I'm pretty much eating fruits and vegetables right now. And I want to see that his poop continues to get better. So that's the update on the Miracle Man's poopy situation. After like 3 or 4 days of doing the fruits and veggies vegan diet with like no gluten, no soy, no corn, so no bread, yeah. After doing that, I started getting really lightheaded, and I felt like I was going to faint several times. I should also add that I am allergic to sugar, so when I would eat the fruit, that was causing me problems, so I was kind of just sticking with mostly vegetables. And I read online that with the total elimination diet, you can add turkey in it, and it usually is not an issue. So I had to add that. I'm gonna try that option and see if it makes a difference, because it was hard. Not that I couldn't be a vegan, because I've been a vegan in the past, but being a vegan while breastfeeding was quite challenging for me. So right now we're at the allergy doctor because my little Miracle Man has continued to have blood in his poop, but it's very alarming and it's becoming more and more concerning. I have eliminated practically everything out of my diet, and it is not seeming to affect the blood. So we're about to do a skin test, and I'll let you know how that goes, but I hope that we get to the bottom of this. Okay, so it was really great news. Well, kind of great news and then kind of not. So the doctor said, after doing an allergy test for over 90% of the typical allergens, that baby Smith is not allergic to any of them. And it's like, okay, well, that's great, but then what's the problem? So the next thing we had to do was go see a GI specialist. And I just was kind of the squeaky wheel who got the oil. And you guys, I cannot recommend Yelp enough. I'm speed walking, as you can see in here. Yelp your doctors, and if they don't have good reviews, don't go to them. Like, take control of your own health or your children's health, which is what I did. So the different GI specialists that were recommended to me had horrible reviews. So I found a pediatric GI who had stellar reviews, and we went and saw her today, and I brought in bloody poopy diapers for her to see. And when she saw them, she like asked me for all of his symptoms. She was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what's happening. He has allergic colitis. And she said, unfortunately, the skin test doesn't necessarily, that we did for his allergies, doesn't necessarily tell us what's happening internally. It can tell you like, oh yeah, he's not allergic to any of those things when they touch his skin, but it's different in terms of how his digestion is dealing with those same allergens. So I get to be on an even more restrictive diet. Yay! And I may try supplementing 1 bottle every night, because I don't know if I'm making enough with all of this, the strict guidelines on the diet. I feel like my supply has gone down a little bit. So, and then the things that you normally do to increase your supply, I can't have in my diet. So that's a little tricky, but he's worth it. I went to a fun birthday party today. My friend Valerie turned 35, and she is a huge fan of Princess Diana. So so she had a Princess Diana party, and I don't look like it, but I'm actually like totally a tomboy. So I had to be creative on what I was gonna wear for that, and my little man was the only boy at the party, and he was dressed as a prince, which was super cute. And while I was there, I was changing his diaper, and there was a lot of blood in the diaper, and I couldn't help but cry. Here I'm at this party. You know, I'm not eating what everybody else is eating because I can't eat the foods that they're eating. So, you know, I'm on the restricted diet. I'm not having any drinks like anyone else is, which is fine. And then I'm sitting on the grass. I put a blanket down. Everyone was sitting outside at a beautiful table, but I was sitting on the ground on the grass so that I could be with my little man and let him kind of just roll around and play. And he's such a blessing. And so none of this is me complaining, but it feels like I'm doing all of this stuff for him to feel better, and yet he is still pooping blood. And when he pooped the blood, I'm noticing that he has an immediate, like, horrible flare-up rash that happens at the same time, and you can't even wipe his butt when he's got that rash without him crying. So I usually just take him to the sink and rinse him off, but it just feels so frustrating to completely restrict my diet. I had just added back in a vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO, like protein drink that's for lactating moms to increase your breast milk supply. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's it. Or I'd been recently getting him to drink like 1 ounce of the formula. It's disgusting. He's on Neocate, and he'll only drink like 1 ounce of it if I blend it in with a ton of breast milk. And it stinks so bad. It smells like warm, and it tastes this way because I tasted the formula. It tastes like warm, like fish oil. Like you're just drinking warm fish oil. So I don't blame him for not wanting to drink it. He doesn't want to drink it. It's disgusting. So he has been drinking that a couple days, and there's an increase in the blood for the last couple days. So it makes you wonder, is it the protein drink that I'm doing that has caused this problem, or is it the formula that he's on? Did that cause the problem? I also recently switched to adding chicken in my meals instead of turkey. So is chicken the problem? It's just, I know I should only be introducing one thing like every maybe 3 to 7 days. That's what I need to do, is just only introduce one thing every 3 to 7 days. But the reason I was introducing chicken and the protein powder was to try to increase my breast milk supply. That was the protein powder. The chicken is because I wanted to give myself a variety of foods, but I really feel like I just almost have to go back to just doing potatoes and like zucchini. Maybe I do turkey, maybe I don't, because some babies can be allergic to protein. So I just feel a little defeated, honestly. But on a positive note, he is a very healthy, very happy, beautiful boy. He's 17 pounds. He rolls over from front to back and from back to front. He drools more than any baby I've ever met. He might be teething, but there are no teeth in sight. He smiles and giggles at anybody who comes and says hi to him. He's clearly loved. I'm saying nothing but positive words to him. I tell him that he's going to get better every day, and I tell him that he has the power to heal himself, and that we love him and we're going to support him in his journey. And so I know that this will get better. It's just challenging in the meantime. Also, as I mentioned, the breast milk supply, I feel a lot of pressure to make sure I have enough breast milk for him, because formulas are just crap. I hate to say it, but the ingredients in these formulas are awful. And even if I use an organic hypoallergenic formula, it still has corn, milk, or soy, and those are the top allergens. So it feels a little bit like hitting dead end roads here. But at the end of the day, I do like to look at him and go, okay, I'm clearly making enough breast milk for him, because he's gaining weight and he's healthy and happy. So sometimes we just have to kind of try to find that silver lining and stay positive even when it's hard. Matter of fact, when it's hard to stay positive, that's when you need to the most. Here's a couple pictures from the party I was telling you guys about. Gotta say, as much as I don't like being all girlied out, it was actually a lot of fun to just have a different look for the day. We are hiking. It's his first time. felt so good to get out there, you know, get your feet off of pavement, get your shoes dirty, smell some fresh air, see the trees, and my son loved it. I think that I am officially, like, perplexed. I've done every diet that they've suggested, and I stay on them a decent amount of time to see a difference, and we're not seeing a difference. Maybe a slight improvement, which is good, but still, bloody poopy diapers every single day. It's frustrating. But on a positive note, we went to the pumpkin patch, so I'll show you guys some fun pictures. Which will be really fun. I'll show you guys some clips from that. Next, we headed down to Oxnard and had a beach day, which was really fun with his cousins and his grandma and grandpa. I let him play in the sand and took off his socks so he could dig his toes in, which he definitely enjoyed. It's really cute because everything he does is for the first time, and so we get to see what he likes and what he doesn't. And of course, his cousins always love holding him. The day started out a little overcast and then the sun came out, so the weather wasn't too bad actually. I just love doing anything and everything with him, and being out in nature has always been a fun thing for us. After all of that happened, we did a stool sample, and the stool sample came back positive for a bacterial infection. Now my first reaction is like, wait, what? No way, because I am a germaphobe who washes her hands 100 times a day, probably, no exaggeration, probably 100 times a day. And and he hasn't eaten any solid foods yet because we're not sure if we want to introduce something to him when we don't know what's causing the blood as it is. So when we found out that he tested positive for bacterial infection, they gave us azithromycin to take for 3 days, and today is day 3. So the gastroenterologist pediatrician said that it'll take about a week for the blood to go away. So stay tuned. Hopefully that's the cure. And I hope my next report will be to tell you that the blood is gone. The good news about that is that the ridiculously crazy strict eating regimen that I've been on will be lifted once we have an all clear. Like once there is no more blood, then we're going to be all clear. But one thing I want to add is that I've been very cautious about how I speak about this in front of my son. So I do not speak fearfully about it anymore. I speak very like words of life to him. Of course, the huge wave rolls in right now. After we had fun at the beach, we actually went for a walk. My niece Olivia and baby Smith and we walked along the Channel Islands. How cute is she? She said those glasses helped her see better. And she actually took this first picture when I was 10 weeks pregnant, and this is the exact same spot, except now I have a 6-month-old, so that was fun. It was a unicorn birthday party. She loved her ice cream cake. Baby Love was very excited to play with the decorations. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you're still trying to conceive, please don't give up hope, because it's worth everything, I promise.